Second half about ready to get underway, and as you can see, there is a change. Clint Dempsey has entered the game for Paul Arriola. Now, this is going to be interesting to see how this will affect the U.S. lineup, but Clint Dempsey is in, making his 141st appearance and looking for what would be a record 58th goal, and boy, could the U.S. use it. Phil Shane, Kobe Jones, and down on the sidelines, Julian Gonzalez. Julian, give me an idea of the U.S. mood coming out for the second half.
You know, they came out, it seemed like, you know what, it's kind of like what we've seen since the beginning of the game, and it's kind of like a little ho-hum approach. I mean, I don't know what it seems like to you guys seeing it on the screen, but, you know, and it just doesn't seem like there's urgency, that there's really a World Cup spot on the line. It's kind of reminds me a little bit of the Jurgen's last game when the U.S. obviously really laid an egg over in Costa Rica, guys. And one last note to pass along to you guys, the players throughout the match, the players, especially Brad Gazan, has been asking some of the guys from the U.S. Soccer Federation updates to score. So, I mean, everyone here on pins and needles for these, not only this match, but what's going on in the rest of the CONCACAF.
Thank you very much, Julian Kobe. That's understandable, but from a U.S. perspective, I'm sure they did not want to be relying on help from Mexico and Costa Rica. Long ball across, bringing it down. Nagbe. Overlap is on from Villafana, cuts to the inside, but shut down well. Alvin Jones up for a man of the match performance. Falls for Pulisic, and he lifts it up and over. Fonset, Wonder Boy, strikes again. The U.S. needed something to go their way, and why not Christian Pulisic?
Well, you don't expect anybody else but Christian Pulisic, and as he takes a strike, I think there's a little deflection, maybe a little bit of a touch, but either way, being direct, finds a way to put the ball in the back of the net, to ripple the net, and that's what the USA needed. Yes, it looks like a deflection, just comes off of Daniel Cyrus, off of his thigh, and throws the ball off a bit, just enough to give the USA one goal, and this is how you want to start in the second half. This is the way you get a little bit more energy, it lifts the team up, and now they can push to try to tie this match.
Well, again, getting to the substitute at the half, I was thinking, normally in a situation like this, it would push Nagbe out wide on the left chalk, Pulisic out wide on the right, and Dempsey slotting into that hole between or behind the two front runners. But at least on that play for the goal, it was Pulisic right down Main Street.
Well, I think Pulisic's going to be allowed a little bit more freedom. You're going to see him drifting inside as much as possible, trying to just pick up the ball to be that catalyst for the U.S. going forward.
Christian Pulisic, now 5 goals and 4 assists in qualifying, and involved in 12 of the 17 in the Hex. Chance for Winchester, cuts back to his left, to his right, goes to the goal line, blasts it across. Howard with the deflection right to Levi Garcia, but he couldn't knock it home, or it would have been back to a 2-goal lead. Still in play, and a little over-eager on shielding Nathan Lewis commits the foul. Or is that Winchester again over there quickly? Regardless, free kick U.S.
Yeah, that's Winchester just showing a little bit of pace, and he's been active going out to the right, helping out on the defensive side there, trying to win the ball back. But given the U.S. has gotten 1 goal, they cannot let down.
Again, from a U.S. perspective, 1 more goal would make things a lot more comfortable. It would require double-digit victories practically on the other side of the screen. But if that score holds for the U.S. and Trinidad gets the victory, all it would require would either be 2 goals for Panama or 2 goals for Honduras in the second half, and the U.S. would fall to 4th and a playoff with Australia. If both of those teams score a couple of goals in the second half, the U.S. will be watching the World Cup on TV.
Well, that's why the U.S. cannot be concerned with how the other teams are playing right now. They have to go out and play their own game. They need to put their stamp on this match. They need to put more pressure on this back line. They got to play tighter defensively and more aggressive defensively.
Far side, Nagbe. Burst of pace takes it wide. Notice Altidore sliding out to the flank. You look at the body, everyone thinks he's just a bruiser, but he likes to be involved in the buildup as well and come out from the wide side. We've seen that with Toronto, with Javinko taking really that center forward role. Gonzalez high in the air. Altidore trying to come underneath it, but was on the wrong side of Cyrus at the outset. There, as you see, the assistant with the right call. 3-3-3 coming in for the United States. No one has actually scored more goals, at least coming into tonight. Of course, a large part of that had to do with their recent performances. Take a look. Uruguay mentioned the fact they were 99.8% assured of qualifying. 2 straight for Luis Suarez, and El Pistolero hits the bullseye. The Charrua will be in Russia. Got off to a little bit of a scary start. An own goal in the 24th minute, but 4 straight for Uruguay. Cleared away. Nathan Lewis back on defense. Yedlin. Curtis Gonzalez to the near side, and it's out for a U.S. throw.
And this is where the game gets a little bit suspect for Trinidad and Tobago. We mentioned it before about there's always talk about being organized. The question is, can they put together an organized defense for the full 90 minutes?
Nice control, Dempsey. Dempsey drives to the inside, ball glued to his right foot, double teamed though, gets hooked inside the arc, but a good no call from the referee, who has actually had a good match today. The United States maybe making things a little bit tougher here in the second half. Some news in South America. Free kick for Peru, and it's Paulo Guerrero sneaking in at the near post, and that's past Ospina, and Peru has tied it up against Colombia. At the moment, that lifts them into the playoff spot, 5th place, just above Chile by a single goal. And there's still time to be played. About 10 minutes left to go in South America. Again, for more on that, be in Sports in Espanol, focused on the CONCACAF side of things here. And it looks like Nathan Lewis might need to come out.
See, Yedlin comes in and just gives a little bit of a whack after the ball's gone. Connects with Lewis, and it might be a little bit of a message from Yedlin, because Lewis has been pretty dangerous going forward for Trinidad and Tobago.
Wood to Pulisic, and then sportingly back. Tristan Hodge. Now it seems as though Trinidad on their back foot. Pulisic ridden off the ball by Lewis, who quickly seems to have rediscovered full health.
You'll see as Lewis gets beat just by the pace of Christian Pulisic, just a little bit of a tug. The referee's right there, and it puts the United States in a decent position to get some numbers forward.
Bradley, good ball in for Altidore, and he's not going to want to watch that one. Just got under it and couldn't guide it home. Josie Altidore. No one has created more chances in World Cup qualifying than Josie Altidore, at least during the Hex. And 2 goals against Panama. One interesting note, U.S. has never lost when Altidore scores. So if he would have gotten that one or gets one before this is over, maybe, just maybe, a draw would be good enough. Here's where things stand right now. The top 5, and that would mean the 2-time defending Copa America champion Chile would be out. Of course, then again, Paraguay still no score against Venezuela. Wood brings it down, but gets tangled in the process with Curtis Gonzalez in a foul against the Hamburg striker.
Yeah, this is a couple times now that Bobby Wood's been called by that initial contact, and you see right there just that little bit of a shove in the back, and yes, Curtis Gonzalez makes a little bit more of it, but enough to draw the referee's attention and the whistle to be blown. You know, we talked about the dirty work that he has to do. But so far, every time that he goes in, body to body, the call has been against Bobby Wood.
Blasted high into the air by Gonzalez, off the head, laid back by Nathan Lewis, slotted through for Winchester, but needed to cool the Jets a little bit. Offside again. The U.S.'s best friend here in the second half. Still see some remnants of the mud after that sideline was flooded yesterday. Credit to the grounds crew. I think many people thought this pitch would be even more unplayable. There was even talk about moving it a half hour north back to the Hazley Crawford, but I don't think we can really blame the field for the scoreline.
No, that will be interesting to see if that comes up as an excuse for whoever makes the statement, because when it comes down to it, both teams are on the field. Both teams have to play on it. You have to adjust to the situation that you're given.
Pulisic just got away from him. Another collision on this near side sees Lewis down. And from a Trinidad perspective, only one win in qualifying. They might be biding their time. Ball whipped in from the corner for Panama. It's knocked home. Blas Perez was there to try and body it in. And they're going to say it counts. They're going back to midfield, and Panama has tied the score. So that gives them the point, solidifying their hold on that fourth spot. But from a U.S. perspective, another Panama goal in the final half hour, and Panama could leap into the World Cup at the U.S.'s expense. Substitutions on that far side for Trinidad. And it looks as though Nathan Lewis's day might be done.
Well, if you look at the standings and where they are now, and Panama at 11, USA at 12, and we talked about if Panama picks up another goal, they could leapfrog the U.S. I guarantee you there are quite a few members of U.S. soccer that are down in Trinidad staring and getting all the results of what's going on right now and just a little bit more nervous.
Well, Sunil Gulati is among those that are there. And the Soca Warriors right now a half hour away from their second victory in World Cup qualifying, and it would be a big step forward for Dennis Lawrence. Take another look here. The ball whipped in early, and Omar Gonzalez couldn't guide it to safety. Here's the other goal from Alvin Jones, and then Pulisic with a nice finish of his own. Kobe, surprised where things stand with a half hour to go?
Yeah, of course. I think everybody was surprised when you're talking about the United States and just the history and where the United States stands as far as the expectations on World Cup qualifying, and against a Trinidad side that has only won one game. You'd be expecting the United States to be winning or at the least having this game tied. But to be down a goal.
Yedlin gets beat around the corner. Lewis with a burst of speed. Yedlin brings him down, but the referee says no. Maybe, just maybe, the second penalty the U.S. gets away from, that's going to be worth another look. Omar Gonzalez in the first half, what appeared to be a clean tackle on further review was not. Let's see what happened there with Yedlin and Lewis. Back for Villafana. A third Trinidadian goal, and you kind of sense this one would be done and dusted. Inside for Altidore, flips it high. Wood tries to bring it down. They're going to call the foul on Altidore. Let's take another look at this collision. Backheel tackle, clean.
Well, there, let's get another look. This looks a little bit better, and
I think he got it.
You think that one's a penalty?
No, I think it's a clean tackle.
Yeah, I think that's a clean tackle. I think that's just the arms going up and raised, trying to get the call from the referee. I think that's an excellent no call.
Another chance into the middle by Lewis, but Winchester couldn't put the brakes on in time.
Well, Lewis is becoming a little bit of a spark plug ever since he's gone down a couple of times. He's come back on and has feeling pretty good, and he's taking Yedlin to town a couple of times on this left flank. Yedlin's got to do a lot better on the defensive side of things. Understanding, yes, you want to get forward, but for any outside back, any defender, it's defense first. Solidify that, then worry about the offensive side.
Dempsey is going to stay in play. Villafaña hangs it in the air over Wood, shy of Pulisic though. Pulisic battling for it, lumbering over to this near side. Remember, there was a question whether he'd be able to play tonight, and you wonder whether he's starting to labor. Saw Trinidad getting some substitutes ready on the sideline. Here's Nagbe with a burst of speed. Dempsey lifts it. Altidore trying to get there. Tristan Hodge got in the way. Altidore for Pulisic, but well read. Lewis on this near side. Tries to touch it around Altidore, but Altidore with the bump. And it looks like that will go Trinidad's way.
No need for the little shove, but it looks like U.S. ends up with that ball.
So again, where things stand. Into the area, Pulisic plays it across, deflected back to the top of the box. U.S. starting to build. Well, could have been ruled shoulder to shoulder, but Omar's had a sledgehammer attached, and Kaleem Highland draws the foul. By the way, there's been some action in San Pedro Sula. We will get you up to date on that one as well. By the way, that Panama goal has gone to Gabi Torres. This one beating the offside trap. Mexico sees it deflected home. It's going to say off of Ochoa and in regardless. Great try. Kyoto and company tying that game at 2. So now another goal by Honduras, and the U.S. would be in 4th. Well, the U.S. did score to make this one closer, but Honduras and Panama have also scored. And that means it's 12-11-11.
Now this is a dangerous situation that the United States is finding themselves in.
Well-timed run. Winchester, down goes Howard. Tried to put it between the legs, but Howard got the deflection. Nice defense, Gonzalez. But falls straight for Dempsey, who's in an uncharacteristic left wing. Back to Deuce. Down for Villafaña. Cuts to the inside. Soft touch into the middle. Played for Pulisic, but he was cutting in as the ball was going wide. Trinidad starting to scramble a bit. Kobe, you've been in situations like this, maybe not in the final day of qualifying, but what's going through the U.S. players' minds right now?
I think there's just a general understanding, I think, from halftime, because I guarantee you, Bruce Arena isn't usually one to yell, scream with his voice at the players, but I guarantee you there might have been some of that at halftime, and it's an understanding that you have to do better in this second half and can't.
Pulisic into the 18. Across for Wood. Laid off nicely, Bradley. Dempsey to Nagbe, but his shot deflected. Looked like Villafaña maybe clattering in to try and win it back. Ball all the way back. And Tim Howard. By the way, mentioned San Pedro Sula. It looks like there's been even more action in Honduras. We'll get you up to date on that, but right now Levi Garcia on the far side seems to be a little worse for wear. So again, Mexico had taken the lead with Carlos Vela just before the half. This one chipped forward. Ellis challenging for it into the center, off the post, and then bangs off the head of Ochoa. And that's the own goal that tied it up. But even worse for Mexico, and especially the U.S. Kyoto again spinning to the inside and tucking it near post. 2 goals in 6 minutes. Honduras has taken the lead over Mexico, and that means Honduras has knocked the United States into 4th place. And all it would take in these remaining 25 minutes, a goal from Panama, and the U.S. will be out of the World Cup. But there's still 25 minutes in Cova for the United States to take matters into their own hand.
And I can guarantee you the players on the field know this score now. They know the situation and what is necessary. The coaching staff for sure, because they are following it minute by minute, getting the updates, and there's a way that they will relay it, especially at moments like this, to the players, that they have to push forward and try to get back into this match. They need the tie.
Argentina and Jorge Sampaoli finally reason to celebrate, and again it was Lionel Messi who got it done. A hat trick. Meanwhile, the other side, Nathan Lewis with the shot that goes wide. Argentina going to the World Cup on Lionel Messi's shoulders. 3 goals in Quito, coming from behind in that one. So 1, 2, and 3 are done. Brazil, Uruguay, and Argentina. And then Colombia and Peru in added time, tied at 1. And at this point, Colombia in 4th, Peru in 5th. But again, that could change depending upon a goal there, or if Paraguay can bounce back. But Venezuela has stunned the Guarani, a 1-0 lead there. So it looks as though Chile is out, and Colombia and Peru right now may be battling it out for the automatic berth and the play-in berth against New Zealand. Over for Darlington Nagbe. And again, Uruguay celebrating their 4-2 victory. They are going to the World Cup in 2nd place. Altidore getting leveled on the left of your screen. Tristan Hodge going in hard. And by my count, that's our first yellow of the match.
That is the first yellow, and it's a tough tackle by Hodge coming in on Altidore. Comes in a little bit late, swings through, and connects with Altidore. Now this is where the U.S. has to be smart, understanding the situation. You have to take advantage of everything. Any attack, can you feed it to where Hodge is to possibly draw another yellow, get the red card, and go numbers up in this game?
A chance here from the set piece. I often call it a great equalizer. U.S. would love to get one. It would make those other matches irrelevant, or practically. 2 men in the wall. Fonset leaning back post. Gonzalez, Dempsey, Altidore, Beasler, all champing at the bit. Bradley plays it square. Dempsey, the shot tapped away by Fonset. By design, but not quite good enough.
Yeah, by design for the U.S. and exactly who you want to be striking that ball, finding Clint Dempsey.
Credit to Fonset. Through a forest of trees, he spots it. This one high into the air. What looked like it might be a push on Wood. Play on, says the referee. Launched away by Daniil Cyrus. And it's going to be, well, let's take another look.
Yeah, you can see the spin around run from Dempsey where he just curves and bends to the top, and then it's a first time shot. See, just through traffic. It's a last-minute reaction from Fonset, but just enough to put that over the top.
Maybe a foot in either direction, and the U.S. would be celebrating a draw. Bouncing in. Down goes Fonset at the near post. 70th minute reached.
I like this from Clint Dempsey. At least he is giving the U.S. a little bit of energy. He's creating and giving.
Taking a look, National Stadium, Kobe, Peru and Colombia. They're in the 97th minute in Asuncion, and bar a miracle goal, both of these teams are still alive. Colombia with its ticket to the World Cup, and Peru in a playoff spot against New Zealand. James Rodriguez's goal, the difference for Colombia. And it looks like Venezuela, with that lone goal, Ángel Herrera. And that's knocked Paraguay out. These are the final standings in CONMEBOL. The top four going, and Peru with that half ticket through Oceania. And the U.S. might be in a similar strait with Australia if no other goals go in CONCACAF. Dempsey across. Altidore. Can he change history? Wide for Yedlin. Pulisic inside the spot. One-on-one. Like to see Yedlin use his speed in those situations, but maybe not quite confident in the footing.
Well, I think Yedlin's finding that there's other players on this Trinidad and Tobago side that have just as much pace.
And again, mentioned the stadium is named after Otto Bolden, and he's not the only fast guy in town. Substitution coming in. And it looks like it's going to be Levi Garcia who exits. Kellen Acosta checking in. Heading to the sideline as well, the captain, Kaleem Highland, but I think he just wants a little word with the boss. And maybe some water on a hot and humid night. So Jovan Jones will enter. The Seattle Sounders man giving some extra defensive push. Although he is also very good at flying up that left flank. So Alvin and Jovan are both out there trying to erase the ghosts from their father's past. 2-1 the score. 18 minutes remain. Yedlin. Good ball forward. Wood looked like he might have used his arm, but no. Pulisic, quick burst. Forced to lay it off. Nagbe. Altidore trying to draw players out. Lifted in. Wood sends it across, but big Curtis Gonzalez in the way. So again, it's the New York City loanee from Man City, Ángel Herrera, who ends Paraguay's dreams. Christian Pulisic still keeping the U.S. dreams alive. Nice touch by Dempsey, but Wood couldn't come around. Again, 2-1 here. 3-2 Honduras over Mexico. If Panama scores in the final 19 minutes against the Ticos, who remember have 1 day's less rest, the United States would be out of the World Cup. It's still in their control, though, Kobe. You say the players know. Are we seeing that intensity?
No, the relation isn't there, where you do not see that energy. You do not see the intensity so far. But I think some of those substitutions from Coach Arena are set up for that situation. We know with Kellen Acosta coming in, we know what he can do on set pieces. You have to think that the U.S. is going to be more direct, attacking more, trying to draw fouls, and really just pushing the pace and seeing if they can take advantage of the size off and everything that they can do off of set pieces.
Nice from Jovan, trying to get it back to him. Kaleem Highland, but now a chance for Pulisic the other way. Some backspin, but it's away from Wood. Good hustle as Dempsey tries to keep it in, but had to step gingerly down that side. Again, a check-in on the 3 matches. All about 18 minutes remaining. Honduras with the lead, although that was in danger. Panama level. And then back in Cova, Trinidad and Tobago with the 2-1 edge. If things hold, the U.S. would be in the play-in spot and could still miss out on the World Cup. And you know, watching Australia play in qualifying, that will not be easy, and the U.S. might go in as underdogs. 75th minute. Nathan Lewis. Again, a goal from Panama, and the dreams turned to a nightmare. But a goal for the U.S. and they can breathe again. They would jump to third on the tiebreaker for goal differential over Honduras, but they need to score. Acosta for Pulisic, but an inch too far. The U.S. has not missed out on qualifying, Kobe, since before you were born, I think. But 1986, Ronald Reagan was president. Top Gun was the #1 hit in the movie theaters.
Well, I appreciate that you think I'm that young.
75th minute, final 15 minutes, a chance to check down on the sidelines with Julian Gonzalez. Julian, what do you have?
Well, I'll tell you what, the tension, nervousness is not only going to the bench of the United States national team, where Brad Gazan is an emotional wreck right now, but Sunil Gulati was right behind me up in the stands. He was just fixated on this match, eating his fingernail basically, and he's no longer there. I don't know where he went, but I think he cannot take it right now. The other U.S. Soccer Federation officials are just stoic, just sitting down, not believing what they're seeing right now.
Well, neither are we. Dempsey forward. Wood tried to push wide for Altidore.
Well, this game is just screaming for a hero for the United States. And look, to relate with Argentina, with Messi being that hero for Argentina, can someone step up and really take this game by the hands and make something happen? You're not seeing the energy for the U.S.
Ball blasted low, tapped off the post. Fonset got a finger to it, and that might be the difference between television and live. Pulisic appealing, but he's not going to win that argument, and another substitution about to check in.
And this is brilliant. Well,
Dempsey so close.
There's one player that wants to be the hero, and you can see when you have a feel like this where the ball's just bouncing, there is no touch whatsoever. It's just off of the post. And Clint Dempsey, he's giving that energy. He's trying to motivate his side and will them to victory.
Trevin Cesar getting set to check in. The 28-year-old from the Sacramento Republic, ex-W connection. His 16th appearance. And Shadon Winchester's day is done, but he made it difficult for that back line for the U.S.
I'm a little bit surprised that he's coming out because he had been excellent for Trinidad. Just his presence up top, not the biggest of stature, but just the strength that he has to hold off defenders and keep possession. Bringing other players into the attack was special for Trinidad.
So again, at the moment, Honduras would find themselves in. The thing that has to be a concern is Panama, who have to be pushing forward, are at home against a tiring Costa Rica. The easiest thing for the U.S. to do, if they can, score and catch their breath. Easier said than done, though. Gonzalez in. Altidore flips through, but off target for Wood. One set getting maybe a little trickier than his manager would like. And then just launching it upfield. Cesar is up front. Credit to Trinidad. They have not bunkered in. They continue to push forward, and that could be a danger against a U.S. squad. Chance blasted low. Pulisic was screaming that Jones should have been whistled for a foul, but the shot rolls harmlessly wide. Saracen off the bench as well. Get forward, player down. Now remember, the referee does not have to stop it if it's not a head injury or a serious injury. Goes back to the 2010 World Cup, where it seemed as though every little bump was a reason to bring the trainers on. Well, Trinidad trying to kill the clock.
Well, yes, and you can see the understanding by Bruce Arena that he is not going to allow his team to slow down or kick the ball out of bounds for these situations.
Well, as an ex-player, I mean, it is the sporting thing to do, the traditional thing to do, and not saying that Tristan Hodge is faking this. It does look as though he's cramping up, but there's a reason why they changed the rule.
Well, yes, but it's the traditional and sporting thing to do. until it can knock you out of a World Cup. Then all of a sudden you have to do what's necessary to get your team through. If there is a player down, yes, you feel for that player, but you have to take advantage of the situation. You have to see if you can score and put your team, you know, in the position that they want to be in. You can't take the chance that that player might be faking it and it costs you in the end.
10 minutes left in Cova. 10 minutes left in San Pedro Sula. 11 minutes left in Panama City. Yesterday we were laughing, we were joking. A river runs through it. The hashtag, the river to Russia. Forget the road to Russia. In comes Nagbe, but it's poked away. Corner kick for the United States. Cyrus may be the worse for wear. Today there's no joking going on. The United States in a battle for its World Cup lives.
See, as Nagbe just pushes through, you can see Cyrus step in, and this is really
penalty.
I don't think you're gonna. You could argue it, but I don't think you're gonna get any call from the referee at this point. You can see that defensively, Trinidad is dropping really deep right now, allowing those two central defenders to be like an extra, almost a sweeper, to shift over and help out defensively in those type of situations.
So Tristan Hodge is on the sideline, and it looks, at least for the moment, as though Trinidad is a man down. By my count, still with one substitute left. Gonzalez heads it across, but the speed of Lewis gets there first. Blasted by Highland, but Acosta in the way. Kevin Villarreal has come in. He was a starter in the last match, so they have pulled Hodge, and Villarreal is in at that left back spot as we take a look there to be confirmed. Julian Gonzalez again on the sideline. Time's running out.
Guys, I'll tell you right now, there's a lot of desperation in the U.S. bench. All the players are standing up, not one sitting down. It looks like Wondolowski and Benny Feilhaber, they have taken off their warming jerseys up. They're looks like they might be coming in. I found Sunil Gulati, and he's right behind me, sitting by himself. He has nothing. He doesn't want nothing to do with anybody else with U.S. soccer page around him. He's trying to sweat this one out all by himself.
Lifted through. Dempsey's there, poked away by the substitute Villarreal to deny the hero spotlight for Clint Dempsey. Oh, how close.
How close. What a moment for the U.S. where they're looking like they're starting to combine with just those little combinations as Trinidad is just dropping in deep. It's going to take the quick 1-2s to find a way to break it down. And every time, it's Dempsey that is pushing the pace of this match. It's Dempsey that's trying to get on the end of the balls to score.
Well, there are 3 attacking options on the bench if you include Alejandro Bedoya, who at this stage of his career probably more of a workhorse in the midfield. But Feilhaber is one of them. Chris Wondolowski is the other. And Chris Wondolowski has not seen many World Cup qualifiers in the past, but maybe a chance to be a hero today. For Feilhaber, has not played for the U.S. since assisting on a game-winning goal against Jamaica back in February of this year. Boy, could they use that again. Across the face of goal. Nope, doesn't quite reach it. Shy for the goal kick.
Well, if you're a fan of the United States, this is where the questions have to be asked. Where's Pulisic? Where's Altidore? Where's Wood? Very different situation as far as you're in an away game. You may be a little bit tired. The field isn't the best. But this could possibly come down to you being in or out of the World Cup. You have to find that restless, if necessary, that restless energy to do something and to give your team goal-scoring opportunities.
The United States Soccer Federation, in its lead up to this match, talked about something Bruce Arena talked about. Only 1 defeat this season. That things had turned around. But in many ways, this would be a worse blow than the 4-0 defeat against Costa Rica early in qualifying that cost Jurgen Klinsmann his job. Now again, the United States could still be saved from elsewhere. A goal from Mexico would put the U.S. back in front. A little touch from Altidore, but right to the waiting gloves of Fonset. A goal from Costa Rica would take some of that pressure off as well. Right now, the U.S. World Cup qualifying would not be over. They'd have to go into a home and away with Australia next month. And Honduras, the team that everyone gave up for dead, would be in the World Cup again. Beasler tries to cut it inside, but Wood caught by surprise. Gonzalez pretty much the lone man back. Bradley his deputy. Beasler up the line. Acosta pushing forward. A heel flick by Cyrus. Dangerous. Chance for Wood. Almost dispossessed, now he is. Here's Bradley from distance. 4 and change. Lunging tackle by Alvin Jones. One man back. It's Cesar taking on Gonzalez, trying to slow him down. Bradley with the afterburners on Cesar. Rebound is Howard with the stop, and it's cleared away. But look at the separation front and back. That's to be expected. The U.S. throwing everything forward.
Yeah, this is necessary now. The U.S. has to take the chances to try to get back into this match, to get the tying goal. So this game will be separated. There will be no midfield. It's going to be up and back for these final few minutes.
Well, this is one of those situations. You see the look on the player's face. They're already focused in on the next generation of the Soca Warriors. This would erase the ghost of 1989. They're not going to the World Cup, but they would get a revenge against the United States. 3-2, Honduras leads. Panama still tied. They're the team in red that's pushing forward, looking for a winning goal. Ball driven in and then cleared away. If Panama scores, the U.S. night gets even worse. There, the table as things stand. The U.S. in 4th place. That's the play-in against Australia. And Trinidad and Tobago would just be their 2nd win, but what a huge implication it would have. Bradley. Awaiting the referee's whistle. 6 in the box. Bradley flicked on by Gonzalez, but off target. Actually, it was Beasler. Dempsey brings it down. Pulisic on the far side to the goal line. Pulisic across, headed down, slapped away. The ball was headed in. So close for Benny Feilhaber, but Adrian Fonset to the rescue again.
Fonset coming up with a huge save, keeping this game in Trinidad's favor.
Ball from Bradley, high. Fonset over and grabs it.
You see this ball that comes across. You see Feilhaber gets on the end of it. Maybe a little bit of a connection with Wood. It looks like, oh, actually it's Bobby Wood that gets on the end of it, and that connection maybe throws them off where they can't get a clean header. Not enough power. Allows Fonset to parry that one out for the corner kick. And it's now desperation time for the United States, looking at the clock, hoping for extra minutes, looking at the scores at other games, hoping that things go their way.
89th minute. You still have Wondolowski. You still have Bedoya. You still even have a McCarty that maybe allows Bradley to push forward. But then Feilhaber, Dempsey, and Acosta. That's right, the 3. So all of the cards on the deck right now. And on the table for Bruce Arena. A hero in 2002, a GOAT in 2006. And at this point, a question mark in 2018. Jovan Jones. Trinidad and Tobago with a 2-1 lead over the United States. And I hate to bring this to you, but midnight might be striking in Panama City. Trinidad and Tobago taking time here. And now rolling it to Jovan Jones, but to Panama City, where revenge a dish best served 4 years cold. A late goal of their own against Costa Rica. And this would lift them over the United States. Costa Rica had already qualified Mentioned tropical storm Nate had delayed the Ticos match, and they are tired and tiring. And the ball in, and it's Roman Torres, the Seattle Sounder, the big man at the back, the hero up front. And the United States, if there is no goal in Trinidad, is out of the World Cup. Unbelievable. Gonzalez battling away to knock the ball free. Here again, Torres. 5 minutes added at the Atto Boldon Stadium. 5 minutes left in the United States World Cup dream. That's what it means to score a goal and lift your team towards the World Cup. Yellow card against Omar Gonzalez. Julian Gonzalez, I'm sure they know.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Phil. Michael Cameraman, who's one of the spokesmen for U.S. Soccer, has told everybody on the bench. They relayed that to Bruce Arena. He yelled something out so everybody's aware at what's at stake. Everybody in the stadium is standing, and so Neil Gulati is in total disbelief right behind me.
Panama in third, Honduras in fourth, the United States in fifth place. The free kick with 3 of the added minutes remaining. Trinidad drives it just wide of Tim Howard's net. That would have iced it. The U.S. still with a hope. Again, still time to go. A goal for Mexico or Costa Rica would give a lifeline to the U.S. The U.S. did the same against Panama to allow Mexico to qualify last time out. Ball into the area, headed away by Daniil Cyrus. One back by Feilhaber to the goal line, tries to square, seemed to be bumped, but no whistle. And there's the table in all of its black and white glory. I never thought I would see the day, or if it would happen, it would be a long time in the distance. Sol Campbell, the former Spurs and Arsenal star, along with Stern John on the bench for Dennis Lawrence. I'm sure this would be one of the highlights of their career. Trinidad, nothing to play for. And they're about to claim one of the biggest scalps. Rolled away by Jovan Jones, delay of game. This will add some time, but how much?
Oh, this is, you can hear Bruce Arena screaming on the sideline. This is where the U.S. has to find a way to get the ball. This is desperation time. This is launching the ball forward whenever you can to make something happen, to try to get the player like Clint Dempsey, the person that tends to make miracles happen, see if he can do it.
And note, 2 MLS players as the ball knocked in. Dempsey battling for it. Kyoto for Honduras, Torres for Panama, scoring the goals that will knock the U.S. out of the World Cup, bar a miracle here. High in the air from Curtis Gonzalez and out for the corner kick. This might be the best chance. 94th minute. This might be the last chance.
And well, this is the moment. This is where this has to be a quality service. You have to bring everybody forward to make something happen here, to try to get on the end of this cross. The onus is gonna be on Michael Bradley to put a quality ball inside that 18, right outside the 6.
Almost everyone up. Bradley at the edge of the 6. It's headed up, deflected away, off the back of Gonzalez and over. Goal kick. And Trinidad will take its sweet time. Reality setting in like a sledgehammer on the U.S. bench. It's not wait until next year. It's wait 4 more years. And even then, some are saying this is what U.S. soccer needs to clean the decks. But the momentum would be stripped if the U.S. misses out. Tackled away by Beasler. That's going to be a card. And a free kick for Trinidad. More precious seconds tick away.
You can see that Beasler just comes in here, and he understands where they're at. He's trying everything to try to win that ball, and it's just been a great effort by the players on Trinidad Tobago all the way around. You saw Caesar there, but multiple players have stepped up, and for Trinidad, a positive look for the next generation.
Jovan Jones into the corner. It was his brother that scored a world-class goal that would be the game winner if this score holds. Remember the delays. Final seconds. All eyes and ears on Juan Carlos Guerra, the Guatemalan referee. Jones into the corner. The whistle. It's done! It's over! It is over. Trinidad, with nothing to play for, has dethroned the United States, knocking them out of the World Cup 2018. Panama and Honduras will be still alive. Panama in, Honduras in the playoff, and the United States eliminated, missing out on the World Cup for the first time since 1986. Unbelievable. Panama 4 years ago at this time, crying, begging the U.S. to stop. They didn't need to win. But tonight, it was Panama with the final nail in the U.S. coffin.
Well, you will see from this moment, there is frustration, there's disappointment, and you can expect all the other things to come. There will be blame, plenty of blame to go around. But I can tell you, there will be change. Not only from the player side, a lot of careers, I think, on the national team will probably be done at this point, but also there will be change up the ladder. It won't stop there, because this is major for the United States and U.S. soccer not to qualify for the World Cup.
There is still one chance. Take a look. They're not done in San Pedro Sula. Honduras holding on to a playoff spot. Mexico with a free kick. And it's Andres Guardado from about 25 yards out. Let's take a look at the Olympico Metropolitano. At the moment, Honduras in 4th place. A playoff against Australia looming. But they gave in a last-minute goal against the Ticos last time out. Mexico looking to follow suit. Guardado into the wall, checking his watch, the referee. Still time. Blasted away to midfield. Honduran fans celebrating. A little bump. Kyoto blasts it away. It's over. And now it is official. Honduras still alive, and the U.S. reduced to the role of World Cup spectator. Kobe is a former player. What is the actual feeling that you're going through right now? Disbelief? Is it hurt? Is it pain? Disillusionment? Is it anger?
Well, to be upfront and honest, I would not know, because of every situation we qualify for the World Cup. So this is going to be something new for quite a few players out there.
But you personally, I mean, when you watch what's happened here through this entire qualifying tournament.
For me personally right now, yes, it has to be all of those. Anger, frustration, the realization that you're not going to the World Cup, the realization that some people somewhere on the field, the players, management, whatever, took things for granted, that this would be a natural thing, that this would normally happen. It doesn't. It's difficult. Regardless of what people say, it is difficult, and teams will come out and play you to the hilt for the full 90.
Again, taking a look at the table right now, Mexico and Costa Rica, nothing to fight for tonight, but they gave it a battle. Panama, Honduras got the job done. The United States did not. A heroic effort from Trinidad, and especially our forward man of the match, their goalkeeper, Adrian Fonset. Not time and time again, and especially late, able to come and keep the United States at bay. Congratulations to Trinidad, to Panama, to Honduras, and question marks about